Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Good morning to all my brothers and sisters in Canada, USA, Latin America. I know my all friends, brothers and sisters, those are right over there in Canada, whether you're in Toronto, or you're in British Columbia, or you're in Calgary, or you're in Quebec, or you're in Edmonton, wherever you are, Alberta. Yes, I know. You're sending the signal to me on the WhatsApp. At the same time, we also extend a very hearty welcome to people from United States, Eastern Coast, Western Coast, and Central part, right up to Chicago, and our Latin America. When I talk about right from Mexico to the Peru to Argentina to Costa Rica to Venezuela to Brazil and all the places those are there in Latin America. A very good morning to all of you. I'm sure either you're going for a morning jog, morning walk, or you're enjoying your cup of coffee and cup of tea. People, those are in Europe, hello to all of you. You enjoyed your wonderful morning and you enjoyed your lunch as well. I can feel, I can get the fragrance right from this webinar and right from this camera that you all had a wonderful lunch over there. And at the same time, you're also taking care of your health as well as your wellness. Please look after yourself, your family, your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, your community, and everybody whosoever is directly or indirectly associated with you. Please take care of everybody so that the world is a better place to live. At the same time, when I roll a little further, I come to Central Asia, I come to Middle East, and from there I take a journey and I come to India. It's a 7 p.m., 2 minutes past in India. Namaskar, namaste, सबको प्रणाम. भारत में जितने भी हमारे भाई बहन इस प्रोग्राम के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, आप सबका शुभ स्वागत है. Yet another powerful evening. We started this journey on 5th of June on the World Environment Day, and we are taking it right up to भारत के स्वतंत्रता दिवस 15 अगस्त 2020 तक. भाइयों और बहनों, ladies and gentlemen, all brothers and sisters, let's move little ahead and I take you to a beautiful place called ASEAN, Association of Southeast Nations. When I talk about Southeast Asia, my brothers and sisters, those join us every evening, right from Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and of course, Mrs. Geeta Chopra. I know you join each day with your husband Rajneesh from Bahrain. We extend you a very hearty welcome. Yes, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, all my brothers and sisters, Doha, Qatar, Oman, all the places wherever you are, we extend you a very, very hearty welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a global confluence of educators and motivators. Those are sharing the best practices in education, innovation, research, collaboration, and the efforts are to empower the entire education ecosystem and making education relevant. भारत से अगर मैं सोचूं तो आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं. शिक्षा वही काम की है जो रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में काम आ सके और आप उस शिक्षा का अपने जीवन में इस्तेमाल कर सकें. मैं अपने उन सभी का जिन्होंने 5 जून से और आज तक 2 जुलाई तक non-stop we have come every evening to you. More and more people are joining from the world over. We started with the humble baby steps, but today the family has grown so much. और हमारा टारगेट है 15 अगस्त भारत के स्वतंत्रता दिवस वाले दिन 10 lakh educators and motivators from the whole world will be a part of this particular process and this particular campaign. People from AICTE, UGC, AIU, NCRT, National Council for Teacher Education, NIPA, and of course, all the organization, UNESCO, people those are associated with us over here, World Bank, United Nations Development Programs, UNICEF, International Labour Organization, International Financial Corporation, and other my neighboring countries, brothers and sisters. A very good evening and a very hearty welcome. Yesterday was a very important day. It was a doctor's day. We all celebrated yesterday Doctor Day. And as I told you earlier, like doctors, nurses, and paramedical people are yodhas. They are the warriors. They are the God's messengers in the white coats being sent on this planet Earth. Similar way, ladies and gentlemen, all my educators, all my teachers, my principals, my directors, my vice chancellors, and everybody whosoever is supporting the ecosystem of the education, they are also warriors in their own way, because they are trying to reach every child, irrespective whether they are in cities, they are in metros, they are in rurals, they are in semi-urban, urban, they are in interiors, or they are in the far-flung areas where the Wi-Fi is a difficulty for all of us. We have been requesting the Honorable Minister for HRD, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishant ji, all these days, and Niti Aayog also, Ravi Shankar Prasad ji in the Ministry of Telecom also. हमें दो चीजें बहुत जल्दी देनी होंगी, क्योंकि डिजिटल मोड के अंदर एक तो सीमलेस कनेक्टिविटी हमको देनी होगी, सभी लोगों तक ये शिक्षा और जो कुछ भी हम वाणी बातचीत करते हैं इस पूरे भूमंडल से उन बच्चों तक पहुंचे जिनको इसकी जरूरत है। एंड सेकेंडली, उन बच्चों को कोई ना कोई एक इक्विपमेंट, एपरेटस या गैजेट की भी जरूरत होगी, क्योंकि उनके माता पिता जब काम पर जाना शुरू कर देंगे, हो सकता है आज की डेट में तो वो इक्विपमेंट अपने पेरेंट्स का यूज कर रहे हो, पर उस समय उनको बहुत डिफिकल्टी आएगी। सो हमारे एजुकेटर्स भी हमारे योद्धा है, हमारे वॉरियर्स हैं। आई एम थैंकफुल टू आवर मैडम स्वर्णिमा लूथरा जी। आई एम ऑल्सो थैंकफुल टू शंकर गोयनका जी and all other my friends, those are helping to empower and to bring more and more resource person in this particular program. This evening, I've got three yodhas, three warriors, and they are not less than any celebrity. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got Shri S.L. Jain Sahab. He's a director of the Mahavir Senior Model School. I've got Madam Rita ji. She's a clinical hypnotherapist. And I've got Madam Rajni. She's a principal, Bharat Ram Global School. I extend a very hearty welcome to all of them. But before I introduce you to my celebrities of this evening, I will flip through few slides so that all of us, those who have joined this program today, we are on a common frequency and we all understand what is this program, why this program, how we are trying to make education relevant, how it is helping in the skills and competencies as well, and how the world is getting empowered and how the world is coming as a confluence in one podlock, जहां पर सबके हवन सामग्री की जरूरत है। जो लोग हिंदी नहीं समझते, हवन सामग्री को देखिएगा अंग्रेजी में हवन सामग्री का क्या मतलब होता है। चलिए आगे चलते हैं और मैं आपको इस जर्नी में कुछ एक स्लाइड आपसे शेयर करता हूं, so that we all are on the common frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 million non-resident Indian abroad in our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, Government, Corporate and NRI business interface. When we talk about the agenda, what we have taken during this COVID-19, this particular pandemic, and that is making education relevant. And when we talk about making education relevant, we take on this program Monday to Friday. That means we all meet new friends, new brothers and sisters. They join us Monday to Friday. Every day we have got new participants, and whosoever come over here as a celebrity, as a warrior, they also bring many new people. And from the next day, people start joining us either on the Facebook or they come on the webinar directly logging in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what exactly is Monday to Friday? We are talking about education, and every Saturday, same time, 7 to 8 p.m. पढ़ाई के साथ साथ आपकी सेहत, आपकी wellness भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. So Ayurveda for the global wellness, this we discuss with you every Saturday. Now, we all know during this pandemic, during this COVID-19, almost 850 million children and the youth, roughly half of the world's student population, they are at present away from their schools, colleges, and universities. We got to help them out. We got to reach them out. I know there are difficulties. I know there are problems. I know the lockdown was called all of a sudden. हमको पता है कि there is a difficulty and there is a problem, but teachers are trying their level best. Education fraternity is trying their level best. How to reach out every student the best possible way. किसी न किसी तरीके से अपने बच्चों तक पहुंचना है ताकि हम बातचीत कर सकें. अब क्वेश्चन आता है, सबसे पहले तो मैं ये जानना चाहूं, मैं कौन हूं? Who am I? और सेकेंडली मैं ये जानना चाहूँ, मैं पढ़ाई लिखाई क्यों कर रहा हूँ? व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन? अगर मैं वेस्टर्न स्कूल ऑफ थॉट में जाता हूँ, तो पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन के जो 4 पैरामीटर्स हैं ग्लोबल, उसके अंदर फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी आती है इकोनॉमिक की, सेकंड आती है सोशल की, थर्ड आती है कल्चर की, और चौथी आती है पर्सनल। बच्चा ये चाहता है कि भाई मैं आर्ट्स पढूं कि कॉमर्स पढूं कि साइंस पढूं, नॉन साइंस, मेडिकल, नॉन मेडिकल, मैं क्यों पढूं? सर केन रॉबिन्सन साहब के हिसाब से ये पूरे पैरामीटर्स दिए गए हैं। और याद रखिएगा, इकोनॉमिक्स इज गिवन द फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी। दैट मीन्स हमारा उद्देश्य पढ़ाई का ये है कि हर बच्चे को पढ़ाई करते ही या पढ़ाई के साथ साथ ही रोजगार मिल जाए, या सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिल जाए, या एंटरप्रेन्योर बन जाए। अब आते हैं भारत में, और भारत के पर्सपेक्टिव में भारत में शिक्षा का मतलब क्या है? भारत में शिक्षा का मतलब क्या था? इन दिनों में मुझे नालंदा यूनिवर्सिटी, जो वर्ल्ड की पहली रेजिडेंशियल यूनिवर्सिटी, द ओल्डेस्ट फर्स्ट एवर इंटरनेशनल रेजिडेंशियल यूनिवर्सिटी, जहां पर 10,000 students from the world over, from the different countries were taking education, and 2000 आचार्य, जिनको हम शिक्षक, जिनको एजुकेटर्स या जो भी आप कहना चाहते हैं, वो सारे उनकी व्यवस्थाओं में लगे थे। और सबसे बड़ी कमाल की बात है, एजुकेशन फ्री, रहना फ्री, खाना फ्री, सब कुछ फ्री। और वहां का क्या कमाल था, सिलेक्शन का प्रोसेस, जो दरबान थे वो भी कई भाषाएं जानते थे, और पहला इंटरव्यू दरबान करते थे। और भारत की शिक्षा प्रणाली ने, हमारी सभ्यता ने, हमारी संस्कृति ने, हमारे कल्चर ने और हमारी वैल्यूज ने हमको एक ही बात बताई है, वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, सारा संसार एक परिवार है। इसलिए द फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी ऑफ द एजुकेशन इज कल्चर, संस्कृति, सभ्यता, हमारी हेरिटेज। नंबर 2 is social, number 3 is economic, and number 4 of course is personal, whatever children want to do. Now during this lockdown COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, बहुत सारे नए नए टेक्नोलॉजी के प्लेटफॉर्म्स आ रहे हैं, गैजेट्स आ रहे हैं। हम लोग रोज नए नए प्लेटफॉर्म से एक दूसरे से बातचीत कर रहे हैं। बहुत सारी ग्लिचेस आती थी, टेक्निकल डिफिकल्टीज आती थी, आस्ता आस्ता उसको ओवरकम कर रहे हैं। आज भी प्रॉब्लम आती है, लोगों को कैसे जोड़ें, लास्ट मोमेंट तक आता रहता है, मेरा नेट नहीं खुल रहा, आपका पासवर्ड नहीं खुल रहा, आपने जो भेजा है वो सब नहीं काम कर रहा, और बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें आती है। टीचर्स को भी डिफिकल्टीज आती हैं, टेक्निकल सपोर्ट का सिस्टम भी है। Yesterday we had Jitin Chawla, the career counselor, and he gave a wonderful new innovations. What will be the new job opportunities as far as the technology is concerned and all. It was a mind-blowing and a very innovative when he gave all the inputs to us. And of course with him, Mr. Bhatia and other gentlemen, they gave wonderful inputs to us, Khandelwal Sahab. Now during this lockdown COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, हम टीवी चैनल्स को भी यूज कर रहे हैं, कम्युनिटी रेडियोस को यूज कर रहे हैं, एफएम रेडियोस को यूज कर रहे हैं, मोबाइल फोन को यूज कर रहे हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट्स को यूज कर रहे हैं। एवरीबडी इज ट्राइंग देयर लेवल बेस्ट हाउ टू रीच। लेकिन एक चीज बहुत समझने वाली है, पेरेंट्स भी हंसते होंगे, टीचर्स भी हंसते होंगे, और बच्चे तो हंसते ही होंगे। बहुत बार हंसी भी आती है इस बात की कि जो हम पढ़ाई ले रहे हैं, इस बच्चे के 98% मार्क्स है, 99% मार्क्स है, गोल्ड मेडल लाया है, दिन रात पढ़ता है, मुस्कुराता ही नहीं है, और 11 साल का है और इसको चश्मा भी लग गया है। ये सारी बातों को देखकर इतना सीरियस रहने का, इतना सब कुछ, बच्चे का बचपन ही चला गया, वो इतना सीरियस हो गया मार्क्स के पीछे। लेकिन वो सारे मार्क्स और वो सारे मेडल्स, उन सब चीजों को जब मैं लेके चलता हूँ, तो ये मेरे दिमाग में बात आती है, क्या मुझे घर का कोई चीज आती है? क्या मेरी एजुकेशन का कोई प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट है? इज देयर एनी एप्लीकेशन ऑफ माई एजुकेशन? डू आई अप्लाई माई एजुकेशन इन माई डे टू डे लाइफ? पेरेंट्स, you must have noticed during this particular time, जब बच्चे आपके साथ घर पे हैं, क्या घर में जब बच्चे आपके साथ हैं, क्या बच्चे को नल करना ठीक करना आता है? क्या बच्चे को ट्यूबलाइट की चोक करनी ठीक आती है? क्या बच्चे को पता है कि फ्लश कैसे ठीक करना है? क्या बच्चे को पता है कि कौन कौन से सब्जी, कौन कौन से पौधे, कौन कौन सी ऑर्गेनिक, कौन सी फसल कब होती है? It's all theoretical. It's all theoretical. I don't blame anybody. Educators are trying their level best. I have got great respect for them. सिस्टम में ही बदलाव लाना होगा, पॉलिसी में ही बदलाव लाना होगा। जब टीचर सारा दिन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव काम में लगे रहेंगे, तो शिक्षा की प्रणाली को आगे कैसे लेके चलेंगे? और मैंने एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज कल रात को पढ़ी, 10 साढ़े 10 बजे सोने से पहले। छोटी छोटी कंट्रीज हैं जो अपनी मातृभाषा पे बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देती हैं। जिस कंट्री की सिटीजन्स और जिस कंट्री के नागरिक अपनी मातृभाषा का सम्मान करते हैं, उनकी उन्नति होती ही होती है. This is my compulsion that I have to talk in English language because I have to accommodate everybody. I cannot speak different languages. I can speak 3-4 languages, but not more than that. But whereas the people have come for this particular program from the world over, they want to understand how to make education relevant. So government की education policy, action plan, educators, corporate, parents and youth together. और कुछ कंट्रीज के अंदर अभी स्टूडेंट्स भी कंटेंट बनाने के अंदर शामिल हो गए हैं. दे हैव बिकम द पार्ट ऑफ फॉर्मुलेटिंग. बड़ी अच्छी इंटरेस्टिंग है ये. मैं बहुत सारी वेबसाइट्स देखता हूँ, बहुत सारी यूट्यूब के चैनल्स देखता हूँ. डॉक्टर सुगाता मित्रा जी जो IIT दिल्ली के प्रोडक्ट हैं, इनकी आप वीडियो जरूर देखिए. और ये कहते हैं कि क्या किड्स को हर वक्त सुपरविजन चाहिए. एवोल्यूशन ऑफ लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट में इन्होंने बहुत अच्छी चीज निकाली. ये अमेरिका गए, अमेरिका के बाद आजकल यूके की साइड में है, और इन्होंने बहुत सारी रिसर्च की. अपने जहां से ये बिलोंग करते हैं, अपने वेस्ट बंगाल के एरिया में इन्होंने किसी एक दीवार पे एक जगह के ऊपर 2 कंप्यूटर लगा दिए, फिट कर दिए, किसी को बताया नहीं. कोई टीचर नहीं, कोई अध्यापक नहीं, कोई पढ़ाने वाला नहीं, कोई ट्यूटर नहीं, कोई टेक्निकल पर्सन नहीं. और उस दीवार में 2 कंप्यूटर को लगा के छोड़ दिया, ऊपर एक कैमरा लगा दिया. उस कैमरे से रिकॉर्डिंग होती रही, जिसको पूरा दिन देखते रहे. और जिससे ये था कि 1 महीने के बाद जब उसके एनालिसिस किए, पूरे कैमरा का डाटा निकाल के, इट वाज ए माइंड ब्लोइंग. चिल्ड्रन डू नॉट रिक्वायर सुपरविजन. अगर बच्चों की क्रिएटिविटी को बाहर लेके आना है तो थोड़ी देर के लिए बच्चों को छोड़ दीजिए. बच्चे आज के बहुत आगे निकल चुके हैं. 6 साल से लेके 13 साल तक के बच्चे वो चमत्कार कर रहे हैं, हम सोच ही नहीं सकते. अगर भारत को पुनः विश्व गुरु बनना है, और अगर भारत को आगे लेकर चलना है, और पुनः से इसकी विश्व गुरु की स्थापना करनी है, तो भारत के एजुकेशन सिस्टम को एम्पावर करना होगा. और भारत की एजुकेशन सिस्टम में जितने लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, उनका बहुत आदर सत्कार और सम्मान करना होगा. क्योंकि अगर एजुकेशन सिस्टम का सम्मान होगा तो तभी एजुकेशन की परंपरा से भारत विश्व गुरु दोबारा बनेगा. और भारत विश्व गुरु होता था. मैंने बहुत अध्ययन इन दिनों में करा, इतना कुछ पढ़ने के लिए मिला. और खासकर मेरे आदरणीय मुकुल करितकर जी जो भारतीय शिक्षा मंडल से हैं, बहुत अच्छा कार्य कर रहे हैं. हर रोज शाम को आते हैं, 5 बजे मैं उनको भी सुनता हूँ. 5 से 6 उनकी वाणी को सुन के फिर यहाँ पर आता हूँ. और इस प्रोग्राम में जब मैं पहुंचता हूँ तो जो उनकी एनर्जी है वो कॉस्मोस से बहुत सारी ले चुका होता हूँ, और तब आप लोगों से बातचीत करता हूँ. और आज 70 ईयर की एज में मेरी जो ऊर्जा है, मेरी जो एनर्जी है, वो एक 20 साल के बच्चे जैसी है. बिकॉज ऑफ पॉजिटिविटी एंड बिकॉज ऑफ माई पैशन, वी आर रियली कीन टू एम्पावर द एजुकेशन सिस्टम. ये निचोड़ है पूरी जीवन का, एजुकेशन का, एजुकेशन के इकोसिस्टम का. ये 2 ट्राइंगल्स हैं. अगर ट्राइंगल का बेस मजबूत है तो ट्राइंगल खड़ी हो जाती है, स्थिर हो जाती है, टिक जाती है. किसी भी बिल्डिंग के ऊपर आप सुपर स्ट्रक्चर जितनी मर्जी फ्लोर बना लीजिए, अगर उसकी फाउंडेशन मजबूत है. लेकिन अगर आप उल्टा कर देंगे, आपने एजुकेटर और पेरेंट्स का दबाव ऊपर से बच्चे के ऊपर डाला, डू यू नो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग? वी आर रियली डूइंग सो मच ऑफ डैमेज and so much of killing with the creativity of the children. What's lost when we rush kid through childhood? हम बच्चों को उनका बचपन जीने ही नहीं देते. और अगर आप थोड़ा उल्टा करके देखें, और पूरे लोग जो शिक्षा में जुड़े हुए हैं, मैं सारे युवा पीढ़ी के साथ हूँ. मैं बायोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस में जिस मर्जी एज में आ जाऊं, लेकिन मेरा मन उन बच्चों के साथ ही जुड़ा है. अल्टीमेटली मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, शिक्षा किसके लिए? शिक्षा कौन चाह रहा है? जो चाह रहा है उससे बातचीत करी, उससे पूछा वो क्या चाहता है. What does today's youth want is very important to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, parents are the first teachers and teachers are the second parents. ये जो तालमेल है गोल्डन ट्राइंगल का, पेरेंट्स, टीचर्स एंड यूथ, स्टूडेंट्स, इन तीनों के तालमेल का कोई मुकाबला नहीं है. उसको समझना और जानना बहुत जरूरी है. सो मैं मंडे टू फ्राइडे की बातचीत कर रहा था. आप लोगों से 7 से 8 बजे तक शाम को मुलाकात होती है. हम लोग वेबिनार पर आते हैं, और उसी के साथ साथ फेसबुक डॉक्टर गुलशन शर्मा के पेज पर आप सीधा आ सकते हैं. You can log in, you can see it, you can view it. This program is a live telecast over there also. और रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा अपनी वॉच पार्टी को भी ऑन कर दीजिए। अरे ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को जुड़ने दीजिए। हमारे यहाँ से आयुर्वेदा क्यों खत्म हो गया? क्योंकि बहुत सारे वैद वो नाड़ी वाली जो प्रतिक्रिया थी अपने साथ ही लेके चले गए, उन्होंने किसी के साथ शेयर नहीं की। शिक्षा को शेयर कीजिए, नॉलेज को शेयर कीजिए, लोगों के साथ शेयर कीजिए। जो कुछ भी आपको आता है उसको शेयर कीजिए। परमात्मा आपकी नॉलेज को दुगना कर देगा। जो लोग ये सोचते हैं कि जो मुझे आता है मैं अपने पास ही रोक के रख लूं, वो वहीं रुक के रह जाएगा। द ऑलमाइटी will never give you further wisdom and knowledge. Thereby, ladies and gentlemen, Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m., we are for the making education relevant empowerment. लेकिन हर सैटरडे मॉर्निंग को हम आपके साथ आते हैं। आई एम थैंकफुल टू धम्मापिया जी। ही इज वेनरेबल डॉक्टर धम्मापिया, सेक्रेटरी जनरल ऑफ द इंटरनेशनल बुद्धिस्ट कॉन्फेडरेशन, जिसके साथ पूरे ब्रह्मांड के मॉन्क और बुद्धिस्ट जुड़े हुए हैं। सारे संसार में देयर आर 500 million people those are following Buddhism. I am giving a very conservative figure. There may be many more people, but 500 million plus people are following Buddhism today. इन दिनों में अपनी वाइफ के साथ बैठ के मुझे बुद्धा का सीरियल भी देखने का, जो मोदी साहब का स्पाइस टेलीकॉम था, वो भी देखने का मिला। और साथ में मैंने देवों के देव महादेव, उसका भी सीरियल 812 एपिसोड्स देखे। व्हाट आर लर्निंग, यू हैव टू लर्न मोर एंड मोर, और उसको औरों के साथ शेयर करना है। सो एवरी सैटरडे मॉर्निंग 9:30 to 11 o'clock we come and we bring to you again a very powerful program, the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. And ladies and gentlemen, this coming Saturday, today is Thursday, Friday and Saturday, you're going to get a lady from Sri Lanka, you're going to get a monk and a venerable monk and our Bhante from Thailand, and you're going to get another Vietnamese lady who is at present in Canada, in British Columbia. Three of them, they are going to share how to make education relevant. What is the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education? This is on coming Saturday. That is at 9:30 a.m. Don't forget to join us. Be a part of it on 4th of July. और 4 तारीख की शाम को 4th of July evening. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy yourself. Look young, feel young, be young, talk young, walk young. Music therapy, गाने सुनो, अच्छे सुनो. My mother is 90 plus and she still listens to the romantic and beautiful song. हमारे घर में कोई नेगेटिविटी का सॉन्ग नहीं चलता। हम कभी दुख के, कभी मुकेश का कोई ऐसा गाने नहीं सुनते जहां रोने की बातें हो, कुछ और हो। नो, ओनली पॉजिटिविटी। मोहम्मद रफी जी के, महेंद्र कपूर के, लता मंगेशकर जी, पॉजिटिव पॉजिटिव पॉजिटिव। Always when you are positive, it helps you in life. Health, happiness, humor and holistic living and holistic thinking in a positive way can only empower the education. Don't forget to join us day after tomorrow in the evening, Ayurveda for the global wellness, 7 to 8 p.m. This is all Indian standard times I'm giving you. Now, रविवार सुबह, आई डू नॉट नो, मैं कई बार सोचता हूँ, लोग मुझसे बार बार कहते हैं हिल स्टेशन जो है वो ब्रिटिशर्स ने डिस्कवर किए थे। आई ऑलवेज लुक बैक, of course, with the folding hands, all my brothers and sisters, those who are watching this program in Europe, nothing to feel bad about it. It is in a lighter way and a humorous way when I'm sharing with you. You've got to understand from this point of view. Britishers ने सारे स्कूल हिल स्टेशन पर बनाए क्योंकि उनको गर्मी लगती थी, and that's why they went to the hill station and they made it over there. Now, every Sunday morning, और फिर संडे भी बना दिया। अरे संडे काहे के लिए भाई? संडे को आप बाकी काम नहीं करते क्या? ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं करते, लंच नहीं करते, आप संडे को क्या टॉयलेट नहीं जाते, संडे को आप नहाते नहीं, संडे को बाकी काम नहीं करते? लेट मी टेल यू, मेरा यंग रहने का सबसे बड़ा राज है, मैं सुबह 4 बजे उठता हूँ, 9:30 बजे सोता हूँ, वेजिटेरियन हूँ, टीटोटलर हूँ, पॉजिटिव सोचता हूँ, पॉजिटिव म्यूजिक चलाता हूँ, हर वक्त म्यूजिक चलता है, जब भी मुझे टाइम मिलता है कुछ पॉजिटिव सुनता हूँ। और उसी के साथ साथ एक चीज समझ लीजिए, you have to know your epics, your granthas, your Upanishad. Whatever we have got, they are treasures. They are remarkable treasures. हर संडे सुबह 9:30 से 11 बजे तक Professor Satyendra Dhiman from the Woodbury University, California, Burbank, he comes live with us, living a meaningful life, Srimad Bhagavad Gita in today's education. That's what we discuss every Sunday morning, 9:30 onwards. and there is so much in education we get from Gita. मैनेजमेंट में, इंजीनियरिंग में, एस्ट्रोनॉमी में, साइंस में, आर्ट्स में, म्यूजिक में, किसी चीज में भी बात की 18 के 18 अध्याय जो चैप्टर गीता के हैं, they have been related to education by Professor Satinder Dhiman. 3 chapters we have done. We will recapitulate for 5-10 minutes on this Sunday, and thereafter we will go to 4th, 5th, and 6th chapter. Wonderful, wonderful to deliberate and to discuss and to know more about it. अब आ गई संडे शाम, क्योंकि हमारे और साउथ ईस्ट एशिया के बीच में 3, 3.5, 4 घंटे का फर्क है। आप ये सोचिए कि यहाँ पर जब शाम को 7:26 हुए हैं, 3.5 घंटे होने के बावजूद हमसे आगे पीपल आर स्टिल अवेक, एंड अवर दातो रमेश कोडामल जी, ही इज द को-चेयरमैन ऑफ द आसियान इंडिया बिजनेस काउंसिल, पूरे साउथ ईस्ट एशिया को हमारे चेंबर के साथ जोड़ दिया है। 650 million people from ASEAN countries are a part of this particular process. You will start having from this Sunday 3 panelists coming from Southeast Asia every Sunday evening and talking to us how to make education relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we are talking and we are discussing. 15 जुलाई को बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डे है. इट्स वर्ल्ड यूथ स्किल डे. हम मीडिया एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री के साथ मिलके आपके लिए कुछ बहुत अच्छा लेके आ रहे हैं, वो आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे. यस प्रोग्राम, यूथ एम्पावरमेंट स्ट्रेटजीज. यस, यस and yes program. It will start from 15th of July to 15th of August. Wonderful program. Now somebody may ask me, why did we start this program on 5th of June and we are taking up to 15th of August? It's a non-stop program. 10 lakh people are going to be a part of this particular campaign. That's what is the concept and the vision and the strategy we have all developed together world over. I'm so grateful, my deep gratitude to all the educators. 5 जून को क्यों शुरू किया? Ladies and gentlemen, as per United Nations, 5th of June is a World Environment Day. जो नेक्स्ट कलह आने वाली है, मुसीबत आने वाली है, जो ट्रेजेडी होने वाली है, जहां पर बहुत बड़ा भयंकर महायुद्ध हो सकता है, वो होगा वाटर के ऊपर, जल के ऊपर. जल को अगर नहीं बचाया, हमारी बॉडी में भी वाटर है, बाहर भी वाटर है, पर काम का कितना पानी है बाहर, वो हमको देखना है. ब्रह्मांड में एक एक बूंद पानी की बचानी है हमको. जल संरक्षण की कैंपेन को हम लेके चल रहे हैं. मैं राम गोपाल जी का, दयानिधि जी का, डॉक्टर वरिंदर गर्ग जी का बहुत बहुत आभारी हूं कि उन लोगों ने 5 जून को बहुत सारी स्ट्रेटजीज हमारे साथ डिस्कस करी, जो ये हैं: ग्लोबल वाटर कंजर्वेशन, पेरेंट्स, एजुकेटेड एंड यूथ. एट प्रेजेंट चिल्ड्रन आर एट होम. ऑल द पेरेंट्स, यू आर रिक्वेस्टेड, एक एक बूंद पानी की बचानी शुरू कीजिए. अपने बच्चों को बताइए और सिखाइए कि पानी कैसे बचाना है. जब स्कूल खुल जाएंगे तो इंस्टीट्यूशन की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होगी. जब वर्किंग प्लेस खुल जाएंगे तो हम सब की एक कलेक्टिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होगी हमारे इकोसिस्टम में पानी को कैसे बचाना है. पिछले 2.5 महीने में 24 मार्च को हमारे लोगों ने रिसर्च करना शुरू किया, और अभी जो 30 जून को कंप्लीट करके पूरा उन लोगों ने मार्च लगाया, अप्रैल लगाया, और मई के अंदर जब हमको पूरी स्ट्रेटजी वर्ल्ड ओवर से रिसर्च के करके दी, तो उन्होंने कहा कि आने वाले वक्त में B2B will be no more, business to business, it will be known as back to basic will be our future. फूड की पहली जरूरत होगी. अगर लोगों को दो टाइम का पेट भर भोजन मिल जाएगा तो आपकी समस्याएं कम हो जाएंगी. इसलिए अपने आंगन में, अपनी छत पर, अपने आसपास किचन गार्डन में ऑर्गेनिक खेती कीजिए. बच्चों को भी सिखाइए. ऑर्गेनिक खेती होगी तो आत्मनिर्भरता अपने आप आएगी. उसी के साथ साथ सेकंड पार्ट है हेल्थ, हर्बल का, हैप्पीनेस का, होलिस्टिक हीलिंग का, फिजिकल और मेंटल फिटनेस का. याद रखिए, इसके बाद जब लॉकडाउन कंप्लीट होगा और लोग बाहर आएंगे, लोगों को मेंटल प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा होंगी, फिजिकल कम होंगी. लोगों को साइकोग्राफिक एनालिसिस की कैरी आउट जब करेंगे, लोगों को साइकोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत सारी हैं, इसलिए समझना पड़ेगा हम सब लोगों को. बहुत सारे लोग कह रहे हैं कि डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस भी बढ़ गई है इस टाइम के अंदर. आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट एज एन एल्डर ब्रदर एंड माय ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स, माय चिल्ड्रन, प्लीज डू नॉट गेट इनटू एनी काइंड ऑफ डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस. प्यार से रहो, अच्छे से रहो, बढ़िया से रहो, और सुबह वॉक करो, गाने सुनो, म्यूजिक सुनो, अच्छी से अच्छी अच्छी चीजों को सोचो, पॉजिटिव रहो, एक दूसरे की मदद करो, मुस्कुराहट लाओ, एक दूसरे के लिए अच्छा सोचो, क्यों किसी के लिए बुरा सोचना है, क्यों किसी के साथ बुरा करना है। और तीसरा, एजुकेशन के अंदर जितने लोग जुड़े हुए हैं एजुकेशन सिस्टम में, जान लीजिए कभी भी जनवरी और फरवरी 2020 का माहौल दोबारा नहीं आएगा। We got to move on. We got to adapt digital and we got to adopt technology. It's going to play very important role. Psychologically बहुत सारे लोग comfortable हो जाएंगे और उनका आउटपुट अकाउंटेबल भी होगा, ज्यादा भी होगा, और आप देख भी सकेंगे कौन क्या पढ़ा रहा है, कैसे पढ़ा रहा है, इसकी क्या क्षमता है, इसके इनपुट्स क्या हैं, इसकी स्ट्रेटजी क्या है, इसके कंटेंट्स क्या हैं। वो सारी चीजों को जब आप लेके चलेंगे तो डिजिटल एजुकेशन और ई लर्निंग का बहुत बड़ा है। This is the last slide before I bring you to my three celebrities of this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful saying, and I follow this, and that's why we are doing this particular international campaign. We have started together, and our basic efforts are we are going to get into the Guinness Book of Records. We will apply on 15th of August, non-stop. We are going to work out, and right starting from 5th of June, and strategy ये है, जब हम सब इकट्ठे हो जाएंगे और प्रयास करेंगे तो कोई वजह ही नहीं है कि एजुकेशन सिस्टम एम्पावर ना हो, मीनिंगफुल ना हो, रियलिस्टिक ना हो, डे टू डे लाइफ में एप्लीकेबल ना हो। सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, यू गॉट टू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग, एंड इस ऊपर की कोटेशन, दिस इज माय लाइफलाइन इफ आई अंडरस्टैंड whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe. I repeat it for you. Whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's very important. आज से कंसीव कीजिए, बिलीव कीजिए कि आपने एजुकेशन सिस्टम को एम्पावर करना है। जितने भी लोग शाम को हमारे साथ यहाँ पर पैनलिस्ट आते हैं, आप कहिए कि मैं गीता के ऊपर हाथ रख के सौगंध खाता हूँ या खाती हूँ कि मैं आज से एजुकेशन सिस्टम को आगे एम्पावर करूंगा या करूंगी, और लोगों को अपने साथ जोड़ेंगे हम, और लोगों को लेके आएंगे, अच्छे अच्छे लोगों को लेके आएंगे, उनकी अच्छी अच्छी जो भी थॉट प्रोसेस और पेडागोजी है उनको शेयर करेंगे, और पूरे ब्रह्मांड के, इस गैलेक्सी के, इस पूरे लोक के जितने भी हैं, और ब्रह्मलोक तक आवाज जानी चाहिए आपकी कि एजुकेशन सिस्टम को एम्पावर करना है। लेट्स कम टुगेदर फॉर द ग्लोबल एजुकेशन एम्पावरमेंट। इंटरनेशनल चेंबर फॉर सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, it extends you a very warm welcome. Join us as a panelist. Send your valuable suggestions on our email innovation@icsi.asia. Also, you can send a WhatsApp. Both the numbers are given over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I always consider that teachers, educators, directors, principals, they are not less than celebrities. So, I would invite all my three celebrities of this evening, my distinguished guest, my esteemed guest this evening, something like Filmfare Awards. You got to understand, क्योंकि मैं हमेशा ये महसूस करता हूँ, टीचर एक एक्टर है और पूरी जो क्लास सामने बैठी है वो सारे ऑडियंस हैं। टीचर जो बोल रहा है वो फिल्म का डायलॉग है, साउंड, लाइट, म्यूजिक, ऑल ऑफ देम टुगेदर, टुंग टुंग, और उसके बाद जब शुरू होता है तो उसके बाद आपकी कम्युनिकेशन और कनेक्टिंग स्किल शुरू होती है। आपकी परफॉर्मेंस पे डिपेंड करता है कि अवार्ड रिवॉर्ड किसको जाएगा। तो फिल्म फेयर अवार्ड की तरह आज की शाम, yet another evening, yet powerful evening, yet empowering evening to empower the entire education ecosystem. Let me extend a very hearty and a very warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce my three celebrities to you this evening. We have got Shri S.L. Jain Sahab. He's a director, Mahavir Senior Model School. He's an educationist, philosopher, and a thinker who have always addressed the problems of the society, associated with a number of social, religious, and educational organizations. Apart from being the director of Mahavir School, he is a patron and forum of public schools, senior vice president, action committee, unaided recognized private schools, former chairman, National Progressive Schools Conference. He is felicitated with the National Teacher Award, Delhi State Award, CBSE Teacher Award for the outstanding contribution to the education system. He believes in the philosophy of simple living, spreading happiness, practicing meditation, well-being of individuals, and is committed towards the promotion of education and health services for all. A very warm welcome to Shri S.L. Jain Sahab. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, my second celebrity, to whom I extend a very warm invitation, is Madam Rajni Johari. She is a principal director, Bharatram Global School. She has a vast experience of 36 years in teaching and administration. Apart from principal director, she is also serving at present as consultant British Council UK validated core skill trainer. Conducted school audits for the government and public schools under QCI. It stands for Quality Council of India. Member of CBSE inspection panel, awarded 5 times the Best Teacher Award. She is a certified Microsoft Innovative Educator and is a Microsoft research partner for developing strategies for improving learning in the classrooms. Have arranged exchange programs for students and teachers to Poland and Boston. Next time, ma'am, you have to take us also. She's also a content writer for textbooks, magazine articles, teacher manuals, and educational apps. I'm grateful to my friend and like a younger brother, Dr. Goenka ji, who has introduced Dr. Madam Rajni Johari to us. We are giving a hearty welcome and extend a very warm welcome to ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, my third celebrity being brought to us by Madam Swarnima Luthra ji. She is Madam Rita Jhanji. She is a senior regression therapist and clinical hypnotherapist. Rita Jhanji ji, she's a healer by passion and a textile designer by qualification. She changed her career path to pursue a very fulfilling and impressive career as a full-time healer. Madam Rita is a certified clinical hypnotherapist and past life regression therapist from California Hypnosis Institute. Her keen interest and determination made her explore related therapies, and she did further training from the Tasso Institute, Netherlands, on current life regression, dealing with physical traumas and birth and prenatal traumas. Madam Rita is also trained in emotional freedom techniques. Wow, that's something is very good. Emotional freedom technique. Wow. Crystal healing, angel therapy, and astrology. She has been regularly conducting workshops on positive thinking, power of affirmation, and positive parenting. There is a meditative streak in her work, and this gives her an edge in her therapies. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these words, I extend a very warm welcome to all my 3 celebrities, those who have joined us this evening. Wonderful, hearty welcome to all 3 of them from the entire global fraternity, all my brothers and sisters from world over. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for joining and coming for this particular program as a mark of respect, as a mark of honor, because biological clock also is to be given respect. I think somewhere Jain Saab is as young as I am, so I would give him an opportunity. You can unmute your mic, sir. We start with, ladies and gentlemen, my first celebrity this evening, Shri S.L. Jain Sahab.
Dr. Gulshan Sharma, namaskar, pranam, namaskar to other panelists and everyone present. In the last 35 minutes, I was wondering that can this show, can this lecture, can this sermon, can this pravachan, Vyakhyan of Dr. Gulshan Sharma can continue, because he has painted such a beautiful canvas, and the kind of earth, the kind of people, the kind of environment, the kind of ecology, the kind of family system, the kind of personal life that we can all have. And for that, we just have to shift a little, paradigm shift a little from consumerism to what we call the satisfaction level, where we feel satisfied whatever God has given us, because God has given us so much, and it is in so much abundance that we just can't take care of it. But still, our greed, it takes over us, and therefore we see so much of misery, scourge of poverty, scourge of illiteracy, ill health, violence, wars, murders, crimes, terrorism. And whereas we should have been living in peace, and we should have been prosperous, and we should have been hardworking, and we should have been doing all that what Dr. Gulshan Sharma has been doing all through his life, and the kind of indications that he has given, the kind of path that he has shown. I think if all of us can take his advice. I need not just speak, I can repeat what he had said, and that will complete what I thought actually. Then, and if this can be taken to the classrooms and this can be taught to our teachers, and if our principals and our owners of schools, they become less money minded, they become more of educators, they become more of reformers, they become more of torch bearers, show how to find a path, how to find a solution to the problem. I think life would become, earth would become, cities would become much better places to live in. So about relevance of education and tool of education, because after all, you see, when we studied our Maslow's needs hierarchy, we said there are physical needs, as Dr. Saab also said, there are economic needs. Then beyond that, economic needs can be fewer, they can be larger, unless and until we see that we are satisfied. Then we have social needs. And you see, in the end, we have the self-actualization needs. Then we discover, because just now he said, who am I? How to, this is the most difficult question to find out, who am I? Now, how to discover myself? Now, that discovery takes me inside me. And when I'm inside, then I forget about the outside world. Because what is outside world? Outside world brings me misery, distracts me from my basic objective and goal. Sleeping 9:30, getting at 5 a.m. is the golden mantra. Listening to Mohammad Rafi and Usha Mangeshkar and O.P. Nayyar's music brings so much of peace to my mind. And my radio is on. I have just turned it off. It is 24/7. It is going on. Because what Madan Mohan did and what Naushad Saab did and what these young musicians are doing, I think they are doing fabulous. They are bringing so much of peace, so much of harmony for us. But the world is not like this. If since morning till evening we have all the songs of love and fantasy and beauty, why there is so much of misery? Why we have so much of poverty? Why we have so much of illness? Why there is terrorism? Why we are not at peace with anyone, neither with ourselves nor with our homes? Everyone wants a bigger house. Everyone wants a bigger car. Everyone wants a Rolex watch. Now, do they bring us happiness? Can they ever bring us happiness and peace? They cannot. And therefore, it is here comes the relevance of education. Education as a tool which can bring us peace, prosperity, tolerance, patience. So when we know how to live and we understand what is life, then I think all these things can be can be can be achieved. Now, how what should we do about it? There is syllabus, there is content, there is teacher. Teacher has to transact that content in the class. Teacher has to, through, you see, all these things have to be integrated. The economic well-being, the social connectivity, and self-discovery. They cannot be seen in exclusiveness, that one is exclusive of the other. So we have to train actually our teachers that how can we make, and through example, through, you see, for example, if suppose we say what are the values that we would like to give, they say honesty is the best policy. I say but honesty is the most difficult to achieve and to attain and to even attempt. Truthfulness, no, we can't become Gandhiji, but can we have a value of punctuality? Can we have value of cleanliness, because cleanliness is next to godliness? Can we have dignity of labor? Can we give the same respect to our maid which we would like to give to our daughter-in-law? Because what our maid is doing, my daughter-in-law or my daughter or I myself or all family members can also do. But why do we expect the maid to remove our dishes? Why can't we help her? Why can't we teach our children these kind of skills, these kind of things? When the Mali comes and gardener comes, why can't we encourage our children, as Sir has just said, that we should have terrace gardens and all that? But if we have little resources, then we leave it to the Malis. And how can we have the satisfaction? We can never have it unless and until we are involved in that, unless and until we ask him to have a cup of tea, to have some nashta, breakfast with us, and then we, our children, our other people, They by turn, they water the plants, they learn the technique of removing weeds, how to sow the seeds, how to change the earth from the gamlas, pots. Now, all those things. Similarly, when the maids are coming, similarly, what is our treatment to our neighbors? What is our treatment to our people from different faiths? So for that, I think as you are doing a lot of work in Buddhism and all that, I think the principles of Jainism come handy. The one important principle of Jainism is Anekantvad. When we are talking about peace and prosperity, and what is Anekantvad? Anekantvad is that there are so many facets of reality. I only see one face. I believe in Mahavirji. You believe in Bhagwan Shri Ram. You believe in Shivji. It is all very good. So where is the quarrel? But when I say Mahavirji is only the best, then there is quarrel. So why can't all be equal? Why can't they be standing? Let Bhagwan Ram be number one. Where is the problem? Let Lord Jesus Christ be number one. Let Bhagwan Mahavir be number last. There is no dispute on that. Therefore, Anekantvad means that the truth as I see, because I have a particular station in life where I'm standing, where I'm sitting, and I see things from a particular perspective. I have my own background. I have my own sanskaras of past janmas. And therefore, I see things from a different perspective. And my neighbor sees them from a different perspective. Now, if I'm just mature enough to respect the way he or she thinks, the trick is done. There's no problem. And then the second principle which can bring peace is aparigraha. Aparigraha means don't store, don't possess more than what you need. Or you fix limit to number of shirts, number of saris, number of houses, number of cars. Today we decide that I'll have only 10 shirts. Fine. When you have 11th shirt you want to buy, go and buy 11th shirt, but give one shirt to someone else. So this way you are able to restrict, limit your needs, your desires. And once your desires and needs are limited, they are under control, then you control on yourself. And when there is self-control, all your problems are solved. So if we can, and we did this exercise in our school, what we used to do, we used to do every year is that we want students to make a list of things in their homes, which they have, but they don't need. They have not used for 1 year or 2 years. So in the end, why did they acquire them? We acquire fancy pens. We acquire so many shirts. We go to the market, saris and all that. New model of the car comes in the newspapers, on the television, and our happiness goes, our peace goes. So we are after that. We go from store to store, we do the bargaining and we buy it. And then our neighbor, he or she envies us. And how long does this car is going to give us satisfaction? Till the next model of the mobile or next model of the car comes. So for all these things, I think if we train our teachers and if we have life, respect for all kinds of life on this earth, whether it is the stone, nirjeev ya jeev, steel, coal, whatever is there in the nature, sun is coming free, water is coming free, air is coming free, and these are the most essential things for our living. But they are also coming to us in the most pure form. They are the purest and they are free of cost. Without them we cannot live. But what we have done to them? We have polluted the sunshine, we have polluted the waters, we have polluted the air, and now we cry we can't live without them. Therefore, unless and until, as you have rightly said, that you are a vegetarian, you do yoga, you do pranayam, you read scriptures and literature. Now, this brings that we love everything which is nice. We have positivity in our lives. So when we learn how to respect our all kinds of life, I think life becomes very much better. Then comes I was just thinking, how do we respect children, women folk? You see, women rights, child's rights, dignity to women, dignity to children, dignity to people who are working for us. All these things make life beautiful. And if these values can be brought in our lives, these values will, our life becomes much more rich. So we should not measure our life by the bank balance that we have, by the jewelry that we have, by the shares and stocks that we have, by the house, the size of the house that we have. But what is my level of satisfaction within me? Am I frustrated? Am I satisfied with myself? Am I satisfied with? So it is the education. If we bring them the richness of our heritage, our culture, and if education for peace, if it can be integrated with literature, with mathematics, with science, with social sciences, and then we also teach ourselves this conflict resolution. We have conflicts with everyone. So I think here I would like to say that, you see, it is my own living style. It is my own discipline. It is my own self-control that is going to define me. And I must have faith in myself. And if I have faith in myself, I will be able to tell others politely, firmly, with respect, dignity, and I'm sure the others are going to listen to me. But first, I have to listen to them. I have to learn to listen to them. If I'm learning to listen, respect, give them due place, then I think there can be a lot of peace. We shall be better law abiding citizens. There will be less of terrorism. There will be less of wars and all that. So with that, I would like to thank you, Dr. Gulshan Kumar. I think I'm blessed that I'm entering into your life and I'll not leave you. And I look forward to the other panelists because their words of wisdom will also illuminate my path. Thank you so much, Dr. Gulshan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And the key word which I have taken, of course, all that ecosystem, you have talked about the education, that is education for peace. That is the climax which you have given. If you want a world peace, because materialistic things, desires, bank balances and all that, you have tried to touch everything over there. And golden mantra which you have given is education for peace. Because you are the third panelist in last 27 days who has emphasized, because always I used to use a term earlier coming from tourism as a passport to peace. But now I've started understanding education for peace. That is something very, very important. My deep regards and thanks to you, sir.
And Dr. I may add that, you see, as you have said, I'm not a perfectionist, and but I give myself a very punishing schedule, and I'm 73, and still I work 14, 16 hours a day, and I try to walk the talk.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful.
But I'm not satisfied. I find that I'm still a meager zarra, a speck of dust, and still there is so much to achieve, so much to go, so much to give up, actually, so much to unlearn, so much new to learn. So thank you very much. Sir, you unmute yourself. You are muted.
Sorry. My mother at the 90 plus, she's very fond of you. Mentioned about Madan Mohan. I wish to bring over here music therapy. There was a movie called Of Our Times, Wo Kaun Thi. And can you imagine at 90 plus, my mother listens to a song, Chhod kar tere प्यार का दामन ये बता दे कि हम किधर जाएं.
My mother is 91.
Music
and she is disease free. My mother is 91. 91 साल की होने के बाद भी वो 5 सामायिक करती हैं. 5 सामायिक का मतलब होता है 4 घंटे सुबह पूजा करती हैं, 4 घंटे शाम को.
Wonderful.
और अपना खाना अपना काम सब खुद करती हैं और बगैर ऐनक के रात को घंटा आधा घंटा शास्त्र पढ़ती हैं.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So that is, we are all blessed. We are all blessed because of our mothers and fathers.
My regards to your mother. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. I give a liberty to both the ladies. You have a choice whether we want to have hypnotism at the end or we want to have the emotional intelligence first. Choice is yours. Uh,
I think the platform is all set for me. I would like to, I would like to take it further from here.
okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
Shri S.L. Jain has really emphasized the need of empathy. So I would like to talk about emotional intelligence over here. And I would like to share my screen because आदत से मजबूर, being a principal and a teacher at heart, जब तक presentation ना हो बड़ा incomplete सा लगता है. So I've come well prepared with some slides. So I would like to share my
आपके
presentation.
पास, हाँ जी, आपके पास direct right है. You can share, ma'am, directly from there.
Okay.
You have the right. You have the right. You can take it. Yes. There it is. We are in the beautiful mountains, ma'am. Yes.
So I'll be talking about emotional intelligence. And so before we go to this topic, I think it's very important for all of us to know what is intelligence. So I'll start from there. Yeah. So my very first question to the audience, and I remember asking this question to myself also, am I intelligent? I have found an answer for it. So today my question is to all the other uh, people who are watching the show. Are you intelligent? And what makes you believe that you are intelligent or not intelligent? I think there are many things. Uh, this is a common question that I always ask my teachers that did you ever look into your dictionary to find out the meaning of intelligence or intelligent? Did you look at it? And they say, nahi ma'am, kabhi zarurat nahi padi. So what is it that made you realize the meaning of intelligence, and how correctly have you understood this word intelligence is also a question mark for me. So I start with this question to all the audience here. And after maybe more than 300 workshops, these are the common answers that I get for, when I ask them, are you intelligent? So the common answers that I get, many of them say, we have presence of mind, we are very analytical, we have great singing skills, we are good at organizing events or whatever, can cook better than many, can express, oh, we did very well in academics. And so they give a certificate to themselves that yes, we are intelligent. While the ones who consider themselves as non-intelligent generally talk about, oh, we are, less expressive. हम अपने आप को express नहीं कर पाते अच्छे से. I'm shy, I'm timid, I can't play with others. Oh, I have very poor scores in academics. I'm slow to respond. मैं उतनी जल्दी जवाब नहीं दे पाती जैसे दूसरे लोग देते हैं. I'm not witty. I get bullied. So generally, this is what I get when people talk about intelligence or not being intelligent. And I think they often miss out on something very important. So I definitely ask my teachers, would you like to be an Obama or an Osama? And I know the choice is very clear. We all want to be Obama. I'm sure no one wants to be Osama, but Osama also was an intelligent person. So what is it that is different in Osama compared to Obama? So I asked them this question, that if suppose you have a student who is absent for a day and wants to complete his or her pending work, what would be the solution? Would you like if the child quietly picks up the notebook from the partner's bag and takes it home? Or would you be very happy if the child will request the classmate, and even after being refused, he will approach the teacher and keep waiting, to get the notebook? So teachers definitely agree to the second option, that request the classmate. Definitely they don't want the child to pick up a notebook. But when they discuss, they often tell me, ma'am, अगर बच्चे नहीं देते हैं तो स्मार्ट है ना ये बच्चा जो कॉपी उठाता है और अपना काम कंप्लीट कर लेता है. I said, but do you think that this is correct? Are we not teaching him to be impatient or to be unethical? And then we all come to this, that it is said that till we don't bring ethics in our life, I think life is not going to be very meaningful. It's not going to be meaningful at all. So if you want to make life meaningful, this word ethics plays a very important role. And it becomes the responsibility of the parents and the teachers to bring this in each and everyone's life. So during COVID times, I've been seeing, a mask that I purchased on day one for 50 rupees is now costing 250 rupees. अगर ये ethics हमारी जिंदगी में होते तो शायद हम सोचते कि भाई what am I doing? अभी need है helping की, and what am I doing? I'm trying to fill my own pocket. So because we miss out on this term, we get very selfish and very limited, and we think that let's help ourselves. And the people around us don't matter much. Though even in COVID times, we have seen many students and many other people do a wonderful job and set good examples for others. But we also have people who have not set very good examples. So I'll just like to quote, for me, this definition is very important because I think if you all understand what is intelligence, बहुत सारी चीजें in place आ जाएंगी. It's not just the score that we get in academics that is, to be valued. We have to see that according to Howard Gardner, this definition is purely his. So I'll limit myself to this definition only, that he says it is an ability. It is an ability to solve a problem or create a product or provide a service that is valued in one or more cultural setting. And that is what we need to keep in mind, that if it is not valued in the cultural setting, it's going to be a big problem, because India is different from the other countries. So it has to be valued in one or more cultural settings. That's very, very important. If I look at this definition, I think each one of us have definitely many a time solved problems, many a times created a product, and many a times provided a service also. Now, if I look at solving a problem, yes, if my husband tells me calculate the tax, I'm not able to do it because I know I'm very weak in mathematics. So I cannot solve a problem there. But if I'm told that, the maid is not coming today and we have to manage everything at home, I think that is something that I can do very easily. So I'm good at solving problems in certain areas, maybe not in all the areas. So when I talk about creating a product, I think I cannot dress up beautifully the way many other females do. But when it comes to organizing the house very well, keeping it tidy, keeping it beautiful, I'm good over there. So I may not be good at creating, a food product. I'm not good as a cook, but I'm very good at creating lesson plans. So there is a variation when we talk about creating a product also. Then when we talk about providing a service, I think each one of us is providing a service in many ways. And I think as a woman, we have been like mothers, we have been a wife, we have been a daughter-in-law, we've been working, we've been a teacher, we've been doing a lot of work, and we have been providing a lot of service. And so is the maid who comes home. She's also providing a service to us. And I think of all the maids that we have, we will see some of the maids we remember very dearly because of the work that they have done. They are good at the work that they have done. And some, of course, we don't want to remember because they didn't have whatever, like, chori karne ki aadat thi, ya jhoot bolne ki aadat thi. So again, if you look, how ethics matters, value matters to all of us. So it's very important that we understand this definition, and then accordingly we rate ourselves and answer this question, whether we are intelligent or we are not. I think all of us are born intelligent. None of us should ever doubt your intelligence. It's only, I think, what matters is, the will in you, the passion in you, that should make you confident and take you on the path that you have set for yourself. So from today, I think all of you must never doubt your intelligence, because all of us are solving a problem, creating a product, or providing a service, and which is being valued in a very big way. So do not doubt your intelligence. We all are intelligent. Now, the question that is very important is that are we born intelligent or we become intelligent? So here is a game of nature versus nurture. Very important that we understand that we get many things from our parents in our genes, whereas the environment in which the child is growing up can actually ruin everything. So both are equally important. It is what you get from your parents, if not nurtured well, can be destroyed totally. And this is something, again, which Howard Gardner says, that intelligence can definitely be inherited from the environment. and it shapes us. Whatever kind of intelligence we inherently possess, may be positively or negatively influenced by several environmental factors like parenting, the family, the education, the school, the culture in which we grow up, social interactions, everything that is surrounding you, the socio-economic condition, everything by which we are surrounded definitely is going to affect the child's intelligence. But it is said that if you challenge it, if you fight it out, if the environment is positive, then you are going to strengthen all the weaknesses that you have. But if you ignore it, you're going to weaken it totally. So do not lose hope in yourself. If you work on yourself, if you believe in yourself, and if you strengthen it, you will go a long way. So coming to emotional intelligence, I think there are three intelligences that we need to take care of. Your intrapersonal intelligence is very important. Your interpersonal intelligence is very important. And the most important, naturalistic intelligence. If these three intelligences are taken care of, I believe that we all are going to be emotionally intelligent. So if you look at this very first picture that I put here, it talks about, if you look at the picture, it shows the child just holding on. For many, it may appear that the child is scared. For many, it may appear that the child is hesitant. For many, it may appear that the child is shy. So for me, when I was selecting this picture, yes, I wanted to actually show a picture of a shy child. And research says that all the children who are shy, actually, they know their feelings very well. They look more inward than outward, and they know themselves very well. They introspect, they seek understanding, they are intuitive and typically introverted. They are ready to self-analyze and reflect. They tend to shy away from others, but they are in tune with their inner feelings. They are strong-willed and confident, and they are capable of making their own plans, and they value privacy. This is what a shy child is all about. Now, when we do not value the child for what the child is, we create a lot of negativity around the child. So a child is born aware, but it is the society with its comments and with its behavior and reactions can actually ruin the shy child. This child is an intrapersonal child. What we need to do with this intrapersonal child? We need to teach the child self-management. And how do we teach the child self-management? We'll have to teach the child to have control over emotions and express them in appropriate settings, because the child is a little apprehensive in expression. So we'll have to teach the child first in very close circle how to express. Once the child is free in expressing in the family, then you go to the outer circle, you talk to the teacher, then you tell the teacher the child needs support. So maybe the child may start expressing only to one friend or two friends. And if the support is positive, if the teacher does not lose interest in the child will definitely learn to express more openly to many others. Also helping them to look at their focus, whatever goal they have set for themselves. If they are losing their focus from the goal, we need to hold hand and bring the focus back, because the negativity around shy child faces a lot of challenges. So it is very important that the negativity around may take the child away from the goal that it has set for himself. So it is very important that we try and bring back the child and keep his focus at the goal that he has set for himself or herself. Also important is that maybe we have started, the child has gone a long way but is not getting the results. So there comes a time when you need to take a decision of changing the track. Again, it is very important that at the right time, the child is able to take that decision and change track when needed. And the people around should always keep giving him that hope should never end. It's very important. If the child may not succeed, but it is very important that we give him the hope that, okay, it's okay. If it didn't happen this time, but we can always try it the next time, and I'm sure it will happen. So hoping for the best is something that we should keep it alive in our children. And what happens when you work on this emotional intelligence? We will be able to build a very compassionate society. And that is what Mr. Jain was also requesting for. That we all, the maid who comes home and the daughter-in-law who is at home, do we actually treat them the same way? Because we are not compassionate, and that is where we see the difference. So if we can work on emotional intelligence, we will see compassion for each other, and that is what really matters. And I think we should all, as educators, not miss out on this opportunity of building a very compassionate society. This quote is very, very dear to me of Mother Teresa, which says, being unwanted and unloved, uncared, or being forgotten by everybody is a greater hunger, which I think is greater than the person who is, sleeping hungry. So everyone wants to be loved, everyone wants to be wanted, and that is something we should continue doing. And she says that a human being that feels is a healer, will heal. So we have to be sensitive to the needs of the people, have to work on emotions, and create a society that empathizes. I think empathy is one value that we need to bring in our children. Without that, the society cannot work. The next type of intelligence, as we said, is intrapersonal. Intrapersonal, we just finished, interpersonal. Now, these are actually people who are socially aware. They know a lot of things happening around. They will know everything that's happening around them. They are people smart. They love being with people. They love making friends. They love partying. They love being with friends, dining with friends. They love to be together. They love doing things together. They enjoy doing, like maybe playing a game or doing problem solving. And they feel a lot for others. Looking at the expressions of other people, they are able to assess the emotion of the other person, which is an art. But what is missing in the interpersonal intelligence is that he is not intra. So it is very important that there be a balance of intrapersonal and interpersonal. Being focused outside will create a lot of problem. So there has to be a balance of focusing outside and also focusing within. That's very important. People who are very good with people love doing group activities, project work, presentations, role plays, debates, peer teaching. They love helping people, and they love organizing events. They are actually relationship managers. What happens if we deprive them of doing all this when they're children? When we take away these activities, don't let them participate, and we tell them, oh, all the time it's only you. We have to give chance to others. Go and sit down. Now, depending on the arrogance that is shown by the people around him, the child may either turn shy, introvert, or totally quiet, close himself in a shell, or can turn very arrogant and become a gunda. We don't know how this people-friendly person, if not given the proper nurturing, will turn into. So it's very important that we as parents and as teachers, we need to observe that if we deny him this, oh, he gets very angry, he gets very frustrated. So let us, give him an opportunity to speak. Even parents have to understand that. You cannot all the time shut up your child by saying, you talk too much. So being a good listener, I think that is something that Mr. S.L. Jain also said, that it's very important to be a good listener. Be a good listener so that you don't turn up this child into an arrogant child or into a complex child. This is our responsibility, which we should never forget. Yeah, and why this slide is very important for me is that an intrapersonal child who is shy, if we have to make him an interpersonal child, then we need to expose this child to movies, news listening, newspaper reading, slowly bring him to maybe, a drama, because drama is something which he may not want to come, but maybe it starts from class into a very small group and then turns into a bigger group. Once the child is confident, then bring him on stage. Same with recitation and any other activity. It is important that an intrapersonal child should become an interpersonal child. There has to be a balance. He needs to focus on the people around, on the society around, and also on himself. And similar with interpersonal children, they need to focus within, otherwise it's going to be a big mismatch. So this is something that as educationists and as parents, we need to work on, an intrapersonal balance with interpersonal and an interpersonal balance with intrapersonal. And the last, which is very important, if you look at this, I think Mr. Jain also spoke about it, is nature smart. What our nature consists of living and non-living things. If you look at the people, the world that we are living in, we have either living things or we have non-living things. Just think, if we develop empathy in our children for all the living and non-living things, what a society we have created. We will never have problems where our children do not respect the school property, or even at home when they're angry, throw things and show their anger. If they will respect whatever is at home, be it living or non-living, I think we have created the perfect society that we want. So if you look at nature smart children who are born with this intelligence, they love looking at nature. They're very good observers. They are very comfortable. They enjoy when they are in natural environments. They love working with plants. They love working with creatures. They actually they understand a lot of patterns in nature. And those who understand patterns, who are good observers, only understand patterns in nature and in relationships. You will find that, out of observation, they can easily say, oh, don't talk now because Papa is in a bad mood. Don't talk to the teacher now. She seems a little unwell, because they are good observers. So all the scientists and all the psychiatrists, psychologists, they're all good observers. And that is what brings them to this profession. And they are able to see the design in nature. What happens? Like as a child, I bring shells home and my mama says it stings, throw them out. What has my mother done to me? She has deprived me of actually disrespecting the shells. It is so very important that the explanation should be done in such a way that the child values it, understands it, and why it has to be kept out. That should be explained. Once this type of a relationship is explained to the child, understood by the child, felt by the child, you will find that children start respecting everything that is around. अभी हमें बताना पड़ता है कि पानी बर्बाद मत करो, बिजली बर्बाद मत करो. It is really sad. We have to teach them that. One, because they don't find role models even in the family or even in the school. So we have to work on it and we have to bring these qualities. But I think this should start right from the child, right from the time the child is born. And it should be first in the parents so that they learn it at home. When they come to school, it has to be in the teachers. It has to be the culture, respecting both living and non-living things around. I think that's a society that we have to build. It's the need of the hour. And how do we improve? To give them scope for observation. So when children look out of the window, I remember my daughter once telling me, Mama, I was looking out, teacher lost her cool. I said, yeah, because she felt that you were not giving her proper attention. So it is very important that you give the teacher proper attention. You were enjoying the air, but she must have felt you're distracted. So I think it becomes the duty of everyone to give time for children to observe. Give them time to compare and contrast. Look for things, look for cause and effect. It's very important. Give them time to explore, time to research, and bring in environment-friendly activities. And give them hands-on activities. I think that is something which children enjoy. And once they start seeing the cause and effect of it, they will start respecting even the non-living things around them. I would like to read this, that it says that according to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, the awareness that emotional intelligence is an important job skill, in some cases even surpassing technical ability. So emotional intelligence is given more importance than technical ability. It has been growing in the last recent years, that's what it says. And out of the 2,600 hiring, 71% wanted people high on emotional intelligence than on IQ. I think that is the need of the hour. If the environment is healthy, that, where you can trust people, where you can feel free to talk, I think that's an environment which makes people happy and comfortable. I'll just share a little anecdote from here. Once I asked my teachers, what do you want me to do so that I can keep you happy? And they all said, ma'am, only one thing, give us 5 minutes in the morning so that we can just sit down and maybe have a cup of tea. Some said maybe, ma'am, 5 minutes where I can just go to the washroom and brush my hair, maybe, wear some lipstick, just settle down a little because ghar ki bhagam bhag se hum aaye hain. So just that 5 minutes. And I said, okay, I will make it possible. And when we worked on it, I think it is a beautiful relationship that we built. And that relationship has taken the school a long way. So I think emotional intelligence is important and we all need to work on it. And I'm sure, I'm not very sure, but yes, I am very sure about this, that empathy is something that we really need to look at. And as an educator, I would love to give my 100% in building empathy in my students and in my parents. In fact, among all those who are around me. So as educators, we definitely need to contribute. And what matters the most is who you are as a person and not what you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. A lot of takeaways from your presentation. Of course, question we ask is, am I intelligent? And then, of course, ethics and self-management. And of course, you emphasized more on to the empathy also. Yes, yes, that's what is needed today. And world over, people are looking for EQ, not more on the IQ in the coming times. That's really something very, very important, which we all got to take care of. Thank you very much. It was such a wonderful insight from you, which we got it. So now, ladies and gentlemen, as a mark of respect, when we are going to get Madam Rita Jhanji, when she is going to talk to us on power of positive thinking, world over, all my brothers and sisters, wherever you are, because although she is the last speaker, but let her speak as much as she wants. Let her share whatever she wants, because generally what happens is that we take this idea that the person who is the last speaker doesn't get the time, doesn't get the attention. But I'm going to request world over all my brothers and sisters, you hold your cup of coffee, you hold your cup of tea, you're doing some gym, you're doing some exercise. Let's do the entire thing together. Power of positive thinking. With these words, I extend a very hearty welcome to Madam Rita Jhanji, my third warrior and my third distinguished guest this evening, Madam Rita Jhanji.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. At the outset, would like to thank Dr. Gulshan Sharma for giving me this opportunity to spread a message about enlightening little but always curious minds. Sincerely hope you find our interaction relevant and enriching. I would like to extend my thanks to Ma'am Shivani Khanna, who actually introduced me to Dr. Gulshan Sharma. Also would like to thank my co-panelists for setting a platform for me wherein I can speak about the emotional intelligence further ahead. And they are the pioneers in imparting education. As introduced by Dr. Sharma, I am a clinical hypnotherapist by profession and strongly believe in the power of positive thinking, positive teaching, positive parenting, and the power of affirmations. Also, I firmly believe that the power of subconscious mind can help enhance the child's inherent potential, be it in academics or in an overall growth of an individual. Hence, my discussion would be focused on the power of subconscious mind and the role it is playing in enhancing the EQ to adapt to the recent changes in the education sector. All of us know here that today the world as it stands can be clearly divided as before COVID and after COVID. What our lives used to be during before COVID has changed completely in after COVID. And the same stands true for school, students, and teachers alike. As we all know, the education community is facing unprecedented changes. School teachers, students, and parents may be feeling overwhelmed, anxious, scared, uncertain, or stressed, wondering what life will look like in the next few months or years to come. during this time of reduced physical interactions, which is very, very important in our society. Teachers were used to physical interactions, students were used to physical interactions, events being cancelled, and the intense media coverage. It is important to help the students and the members of the school community to feel a sense of control and to develop strategies for maintaining their well-being. I would like to cite an example here. All of us can imagine a potter, you know. A potter is a pioneer person who gives shape to a clay, which is useless till it gets the shape and will be of some use later on. In the same way, teacher, parent, peers are the people who shape the future of a child, more so in these troubled times, you know. All of us are going through these troubled times. Let me start with relating to you about a child who is born. You know, when a child is born, it is born with two fears: the fear of falling and fear of loud noise. No other fear, no other belief, no other thought or reactions are learnt. All these are learnt by its mind over a period of time. Now, when talking about mind, it's important to understand the concept of the conscious and the subconscious mind. I am sure you all know what an iceberg is. It's the same chunk of ice due to which the Titanic ship sank. So I guess all of you would know. It is said what we see of an iceberg above water is just about 5 to 10% of the actual height and the balance, that which constitutes about 80 to 90%. And that is exactly how our mind is divided. Our mind constitutes only about 8 to 10% of the conscious mind and about 88 to 90% of the subconscious mind. Now, conscious mind, you would say, what does it do? So the conscious mind is that part of the mind which is responsible for logic and reasoning. So if I may ask you now, what's the sum of 1 plus 1? You quickly come up with an answer called 2. And now this is the conscious mind doing the calculation, right? If I tell you move your right hand or you move your left foot, you would instantly do it. Now these are the reactions of the conscious mind. While we are talking about the subconscious mind, which is the larger portion of the mind, more crucial one, it is that part of your mind which is responsible for all your involuntary actions. So all your habits, intuitions, emotions, beliefs, imaginations, feeling afraid, anxiousness are all caused by the subconscious mind. कई बार होता है, we all of us say कि all of us want to go on a diet, but पता नहीं खाना देखते ही लगता है खा लेना चाहिए. So it is a trigger from the subconscious mind which does not allow you to do this diet. So we really need to work on our subconscious mind. I would like to quote an example here. I had this student as my client who was a 12th class student, board exams, always knew, had to study hard, immensely intelligent boy, must say, right? But got into addiction of PlayStation. So used to operate the PlayStation about 8 to 10 hours in a day and wouldn't listen to anything. The teachers, the parents, everybody gave up. And finally, the parents brought him to me. And then we had this different various sessions about counseling and then working on the subconscious mind through clinical hypnotherapy sessions and all that. And finally, we put some suggestions in the subconscious mind because there was no trigger coming from the subconscious mind to study. The conscious mind usually used to get attracted to PlayStation and used to play. So it's basically we have to alter the subconscious to get the required results. Taking control of your subconscious mind can ensure you to take control of your life and basically achieve what you want And developing a sync between the conscious and the subconscious mind can help you achieve an intended goal. Now let's look at the students who are influenced and affected in the after COVID phase, okay? And how their effective control of their subconscious mind would be able to guide them better for their life ahead. Here I would like to state that there are two divisions, before COVID and after COVID. So there are two states. So there are times when this is before COVID and after COVID, and how do we deal with these kind of stresses? Here I would like to refer to a survey which was done amongst more than 11,000 students aged 13 and up, and conducted after the lockdown was imposed in most of the states. And you would be surprised to know that almost 51% said that they felt more stressed. Nearly 39% of the students reported that they were feeling more lonely. And 38% expressed greater concern about their mental well-being since before COVID-19. Areas of greatest concern included the possible or the actual loss of the loved ones, the hyper-awareness of health that has come into picture right now, changes in the education system, and ongoing isolation, and fear and uncertainty. This really troubled the students. And now we know how to tackle this. We have to get into the subconscious mind right now to have addressed all these issues. Always remember, your subconscious mind causes you to feel emotionally and physically uncomfortable. Whenever you attempt to do anything new or different, or to change any of your established behavior patterns, it becomes more relevant during these after COVID times. The feeling of being stressed, lonely, and discomfort are all psychological signs that your subconscious mind has been activated. Once the subconscious mind is activated, we need to deal with it. So here I would again like to cite an example. So I had this a student from class 10, again appearing for boards, because that's when, the parents, the teaching system, everybody gets into the mode of preparing the child. So this child went into a big depression issue, was treated by psychiatrists and given a lot of medicines, which used to cause him sedation for about 8 to 10 hours in a day. So this again became a problem. So now we worked with him, we counseled him, we went through all these sessions which helped him, which helped us trigger the subconscious behavior, and we actually came to know that why he is behaving like this. There was a traumatic experience that he faced in school, and so now the moment he stepped inside school, it kind of sends a trigger to him and he starts to feel traumatic. So school became a traumatic experience, and so did learning, because learning was associated with school. So we really had to work on the subconscious mind there. We tried, we gave him suggestions which were good for him. Then we tried creating positive experiences for him and worked on the subconscious. And finally, when he went to school again, he went with the newer experiences in mind, and he went with the totally positive suggestions in mind. And to your surprise, you would be surprised to know he got more than 95% marks in the board exams, which is like tremendous. So you see, all the above factors totally driven by your subconscious mind, and you can actually reprogram your thought patterns by slipping in positive and success-oriented sound bites for an overall growth. So this actually tells you the power of subconscious mind. Now here I would like you to have an understanding of the conscious and the subconscious mind, which brings us to a very, very important subject, which is usually overlooked, since the focus of our education system is always on the IQ. Though I know, I have heard Rajni ma'am talking and all that. So now the focus has obviously been shifted, but still it's a marks-driven society. Everything, even the boards on the school reception project the scores which the kids have got and who's come first. And so this is all IQ-based system that we are working on, and which is often driven by the conscious mind, I feel. And never by the EQ, which is more projected on their school boards or all these, whereas it actually refers to success in life. Now, the emotional intelligence or the emotional quotient is often driven by the subconscious mind. Let's understand closely the difference between EQ and IQ, which is the most important in the success or failure of a student and a teaching system at large. And this becomes more relevant in the after COVID times, as these are the testing times for the entire education system. Emotional intelligence, or the emotional quotient, is defined as an individual's ability to identify, evaluate, control, and express emotions. People with high EQ usually make great leaders, and that is what the nation requires right now. They make great team leaders. You know, team spirit needs to be kept intact, because we are usually associate team spirit to physical interactions going on. But here we have to learn ways to build up team spirits by building up the EQ in a child and their ability to understand, empathize, and connect with the people around them when there is isolation going around. Whereas if you look at the IQ, it is to actually determine the academic abilities and identify individuals with off-the-chart intelligence or mental challenges. EQ is a better indicator of success in the workplace as well, and is used to identify leaders, good team players, and people who best work by themselves. You know, so having a higher EQ is really, really important. I would again like to give an example here, because I'm a fan of citing examples, and people learn more through examples, you know. So I had this multinational professional coming to me for these sessions, and the area of concern or the problematic area was he, being a topper in class, was still not able to achieve the required success that he always wished for. And he always felt he lagged because he was not able to give presentations, or whenever the time for performance came, he used to actually miss it. And miss it not because he wanted to miss it, but there are these triggers which came saying that you are useless and you are good for nothing. You are useless and you are good for nothing. And he never knew where these triggers came from. So we tried, and we had these sessions of regression, and then we worked on the subconscious mind. And we actually got to know that when he was a child, like about 2 to 3 years of age, both the parents working, had no time for the child. So whenever they had given some task to the child and the child wouldn't perform in the limited time that he got, they would actually take the task and do it themselves and keep saying that you are good for nothing, you can't do this. You are good for nothing, you can't do this. So, you know what? The incidents actually disappeared from his life, but the triggers were kept there. The triggers kept coming. So whenever there was a presentation, whenever there was a performance which was linked to his success, he wouldn't be able to do it. He would make the presentation and then pass it to his colleague to present it. And the credit was obviously given to the colleague. And after we worked on him, after we trained his subconscious, after we gave triggers to his subconscious which were positive, today he is one of the leading entrepreneurs of Delhi. So this is a very, very exciting and an inspiring example for all of us. I would like to quote here a quote which Daniel Goleman had quoted, that the basic premise that children must learn about emotion is is that all feelings are okay to have. However, only some reactions are okay. So we as mentors, we as teachers, we as educators should abide by this. We have to encourage students. We have to encourage the youth, the next generation, to make them feel comfortable with the feelings, whether they are feeling anxious, whether they're feeling afraid, whether they are feeling depressed. It's okay to have the feelings, but it's the reactions which will cause them to reach the desired success. So we have to actually work on them. Students need to practice controlling their emotions, having them brainstorm on ways they might react in different situations, and then allowing them to role play will provide an opportunity to practice their responses. In conclusion, I would like to state here that higher IQ complements EQ, but in times like after COVID, the testing times, the tough times, the digital times, the isolation times, this is where EQ plays a very, very important role in developing a student's personality, where it is a high IQ job pool. Soft skills like discipline, drive, empathy, which are driven by the subconscious mind, which are emotional quotients, mark those who emerge as outstanding. There are multiple techniques available to raise EQ and alter information in the subconscious mind, resulting in changes in behavior, habits, thought process, eliminating fears, and enhancing positive thinking. Clinical hypnotherapy is one of the greatest tools available to achieve the above set goals. Unfortunately, there are a lot of myths, which goes around with hypnotherapy, and one major one being like it's like controlling one's mind, but there's nothing like it. It's clinical and it is all safe. However, not many people know that hypnosis is just a tool to access the subconscious and resolve individual emotional issues and give them suggestions for a better success rate. And here, I would like to state that there are few studies which are done on these subconscious mind as to how you can alter and what a child does in his early age is actually relevant for the success that he achieves in the higher stage. And why I'm saying a child is because till the age of 6 to 8, a child is only governed by the subconscious mind. It operates at the subconscious level. And that's the reason precisely we say that instead of preaching, practice. So whatever you do, they will learn. Whatever you preach, they might not learn. But whatever they will see, they will learn. So it is more important to work with the children. There was this, in the late 1960s, there was a study led by a psychologist called Walter Mischel at Stanford University, which dealt with delaying gratification for the opportunity for a bigger and more valuable reward if they waited. So the kindergarten children were taken for this experiment, and they were taken into a room one by one and told that they were going to ask them a couple of questions. And when they were through, the child could have one of the marshmallows sitting on the table. The marshmallows were already kept on the table. One marshmallow was kept. The researcher was suddenly called out of the room. And now this is on purpose, okay? So she said that she was sorry, but had to leave the room for a while and she would be right back. She then mentioned to the students that when she got back, if the child did not consume that marshmallow or did not eat that marshmallow, she would reward him with 2 marshmallows. If the marshmallow was kept waiting, they could either eat one now or have 2 when she returned. Little did the children realize that they were being videotaped and all their reactions were recorded, you know. So some children sat quietly and some waited and some reached, they wanted to take the marshmallows and got away. And some actually did not even touch the marshmallow and waited eagerly for the teacher to return. The study followed the children throughout their lives. And you must be amazed to hear this, that they found a direct correlation between those that could wait longer for the preferred reward and how successful they became in their careers, family, and adult life, vis-a-vis the ones who did not wait for the teacher to return and had ate that marshmallow by themselves. So the purpose of the study actually was to demonstrate that those who delayed their immediate gratification for a larger or more valuable reward in the end learned how to preserve and were willing to wait and work towards achieving greater rewards. Now, this is all to do with the subconscious mind. So either it is cultivated at a younger age and you carry it forward, or we can alter it by giving suggestions or by introducing new, better experiences within oneself and by visualization. So all these can be altered to obtain the same level of achievement which one wishes to, and can be done with all our counterparts putting their efforts together. Children are so used to immediately receiving their results that we as teachers, we as mentors, we as educators are often in a hurry to provide them with more. So we have to teach them how to operate to achieve the maximum success required. Here, I would like to end this session or conclude this session and make it open for any kind of questions that you have, or reach me whenever you wish to. And I would like to say that actually clinical hypnotherapy works on the subconscious mind, and how subconscious mind and the EQ, and if we work on it together, we can actually deal with the current situation, the after COVID testing times, and make this education system relevant in today's time. Thank you, Dr. Sharma.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. There are more than 200 queries onto your this, but today we are not in a position to take on. I'll have a separate session with you in the coming days. And something very important which is coming from down, my friends, particularly from United States, from the different parts. People have written me from New York, they have written from Los Angeles, they have written from Seattle, they have written from Chicago, they have written from Purdue, they have written from Wisconsin City, all the places I'm getting from United States at this point of time. EQ, when I'm talking about, they want that you should emphasize next time. And one of my friend who basically is at Fresno is on the way when we travel by road from Los Angeles to British Columbia to the Vancouver. Fresno comes on the way. He owns 5 restaurants over there, and he has written over here, and that I quoted and I posted in the group also, that please tell madam there is a book she should quote. There is a book written by Norman Vincent Peale. This book is The Power of Positive Thinking.
Positive thinking, yes.
And there are 270 videos available on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you read this book, The Power of Positive Thinking, Norman Vincent Peale, this you must read. I have posted in the group also, each and every word, because I listen myself also. If you want to remain positive, if you want to remain energetic, there's a wonderful another orator. मैं इसीलिए बोलता हूं, जो आयुर्वेदिस्ट हैं वो सारी नॉलेज अपने साथ ले गए, जिससे हमें बहुत नुकसान हुआ। अब वो तो उन्होंने पेटेंट कराई वो नॉलेज, और वो घूम फिर के बाहर से, विदेशों से इंडिया में आ गई, और बाहर के लोगों ने उसको क्लेम कर लिया। तो आज की डेट में जो भी नॉलेज हमारे एजुकेटर्स के पास है, with a folding hand, I would request each one of you, your rich experience, your practical experience, how to make education relevant, usko share kijiye. There is another motivational speaker, you must listen. Those of you, if you have watched him earlier, it's fine. If you have not watched him, There is one motivational speaker of America. He has got more than 1,000 videos. His name is Les Brown. L-E-S, not double S. L-E-S, that is the first word. Second word is Brown, B-R-O-W-N. You must go through Les Brown videos each day. Watch one video. You will not use any PPT. You will not refer any book. You will not refer to anything, because education you will link directly with your day-to-day life. That is Les Brown. Because there are a lot of powerful speakers like Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Anthony Robbins. Similar way, in India, you have got so many wonderful orators, motivational speakers and all that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important for all of us. We got to empower the education system. And if education system gets empowered, it is not only content, it is not only syllabi, it is not only the modules, it is not getting a gold medal, it is not scoring more marks, it is making education relevant in my day-to-day life. If I can bring smile on Mrs. Rajni's face as a principal, and if she smiles, the evening is done, because the principal should smile, principal should be happy, teachers should be happy. Rita ma'am, she should be happy. And if she would be happy, if Jansa would be happy, the entire education fraternity would be happy. You cannot bring happiness. I go to some of the schools and I always wonder, I want to click a photograph outside. I do not want to name those institutions. They have got one lady sitting outside. She would be very serious. She will fiddle with her specs and then she would say yes. And then she'll give you such a look. Why have you come here? What do you want? Why do you want to meet principal? What is so important? Who are you? Why do we give this impression? Why do we create? And some of the people, they'll be sitting inside office without work, but they will make you wait for 5 minutes outside to give the importance of their chair. There is no chair. There is nothing of that sort. You have to bring that change in the education system. And today it is very, very important. Start loving the younger generation. Start loving the younger generation. It is very important. The day is not far. It is very difficult. I have to make this statement, but I have to make, if I'm true to my salt and my conscience and to my uniform and to my profession, the day will come when students will have more knowledge than teachers. Students will have more knowledge than teachers. And if teachers do not respect that, then it will be very difficult. I've got great respect for my teachers. But teachers, you have got other responsibilities also. Husband को भी देखना है, बच्चों को भी देखना है, wife को भी देखना है, grandchildren को भी देखना है. और सबसे important आपके लिए पता क्या, घर की आया. क्योंकि अगर सुबह 7 बजे आया ना आई हो तो आपका क्या हाल होता है वो आप ही जानते हैं, आपका husband जानता है या आपकी wife जानती है. So thereby what I want to share with each one of you is, in our content system, we are giving a recommendation to Ministry of HRD. The syllabi should not be made exclusively by teachers. The content should not be made alone by teachers. No, it should be a part. Corporate भी बैठने चाहिए, बच्चे भी बैठने चाहिए, parents भी बैठने चाहिए. जो शिक्षा रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में, संस्कृति में, समाज में, फैमिली में रेलेवेंट नहीं है, वो शिक्षा अधूरी है, वो शिक्षा संपूर्ण नहीं है. And if I share with all my brothers and sisters abroad, people, those are watching in the different countries, why there is a dropout, why there are suicide cases, why there is more depression, why there is more anxiety, why there is more stress. We are going to get in this program one of these days. There is a forum being made by Madam Deepika Padukone, and she has got a separate kind of forum and a foundation which is working on this. What I want is all teachers got to be happy. कोई भी principal इस चीज से principal नहीं होगा कि वो serious है. कोई भी teacher इसलिए अच्छा teacher नहीं होगा कि वो serious है. Laughter, happiness, music, gamification. थोड़े दिन पहले कुछ स्कूल कहते थे कि मोबाइल को हाथ मत लगाओ, मोबाइल को छुओ मत, मोबाइल को देखो मत. अब आप कहते हैं थोड़ा सा तो मोबाइल को देख लो, थोड़ा सा तो पढ़ लो, थोड़ा सा तो इसको ले लो. Our chamber has taken with all the gamification companies. Why don't you develop a positive games? Why don't you develop a constructive games? Why don't you ये PUBG वबजी छोड़ दीजिए जिसमें टाइम वेस्ट होता है और सब कुछ होता है. So world over, all our educators and all our friends, those who have joined this program from world over, first of all, my deepest gratitudes and thanks to SL Jain Sahab, Mrs. Rajni ma'am, and Mrs. Sarita ma'am. Great, great thanks to you. You are the three warriors and three celebrities this evening. You have shared so much of positivity and so much of emotional intelligence and so much of shift from consumerism to satisfaction. What you have God has given to us, where the Jains have started this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many workshops. It's very difficult for me. I get about 6,000 posts within 1.5 hours from the world over. That is the confluence of world fraternity educators and motivators from the world over. Thank you very much, all of you. Thanks for joining this evening. We are so grateful to you. And my three warriors of the evening, great thanks to you. And you are the winner of this evening, and you have brought this evening, you have made this evening, and you are not less than any celebrity. Great salutations, great regards, and great thanks to all of you. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all the audience world over. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, and sweet dreams in Australia, Fiji, and New Zealand. Those are in the middle of the night. Thank you. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.